Before we begin the hour, joining us now, Cecile Richards, co-chair of American Bridge and the former president of Planned Parenthood. Also joining us, Michelle Goodwin, law professor of the University of California, Irvine. Our friend Mara Gay is here as well. She's a member of the New York Times editorial board, also an MSNBC contributor. We're going to dive into the politics, but Cecile, I have to start with the women. There's still sex, there's still semen, there's still pregnancy, but there's no longer access to abortions. What is happening to women?
I mean, I think that's another piece of this story, Nicolle, that I know you've covered, but is really important. This was a theoretical issue for a long time. Abortion was legal in this country, and even the Republicans talked about banning it, making it a thing of the past. It wasn't real, and now it's getting real. Now we're seeing a 10-year-old girl in Ohio, the survivor of sexual assault, having to go to the state of Indiana to get access to a legal abortion, which actually won't even be possible pretty soon, or a 16-year-old girl, young woman in Florida who has no parents, appealing to the judge to be able to actually terminate a pregnancy, being denied that right. The real reality of what this means for women is coming home to roost. And we're only going to see that happen more and more as more states begin to ban abortion. And as you said at the top of this show, that a state like Texas not only has banned abortion, but now is making it criminal for doctors to provide access to abortion care, as much as a lifetime imprisonment, $100,000 fines. This is not what the American people want to see. And frankly, it's not what people in Texas want to see either.
Cecile, I'm heartened by the political tsunami that this promises to be, and to see these measures fail even in Kansas. But I'm sickened by what's happening. I mean, young women in their 20s and 30s going in for sterilizations, pregnant women with non-viable pregnancies being in critical and urgent condition, facing possible sepsis, which I think is 50% fatal. And women maybe without voices, just living in a terrified world where unsafe procedures may become the norm. What is sort of the urgent action to help women while the political fight goes on sort of in the other arena?
Well, you're absolutely right. And I will say, just having talked to folks in Texas today, where, again, another abortion ban has gone into effect, every time this happens, the fear for women is palpable. And my friends at Planned Parenthood get calls. And of course, now it's not only that it's illegal to get an abortion in Texas, it's criminal to actually tell people how they can get access to safe and legal abortion in other states. And so it's really important. You're right. There is a long-term and maybe even more immediate-term political solution, but we have to be supporting organizations that are reaching out and providing legal abortion access to women. That includes surgical abortion, but also many organizations that are now helping women get access to medication abortion online. We're seeing an explosion of women going onto the internet trying to find where they can get access to the abortion pill to terminate a pregnancy safely. So these are really important options for women. And I think your show and others can do a great service, particularly in these states where there is so little information, to make sure that we're getting the word out that there are options for women. There are safe places to go.
I mean, we've talked about this before. It's the dog catching the car. But the problem is none of the dogs have the words for what they've done. I mean, the judges that are mandating state-required pregnancies don't even have the words to explain why they're doing so. She's too young to make a decision about abortion, so she'll become a mom. I mean, what do you make of how ill-equipped the judiciary and the political forces on the right that brought us to this moment are for finally achieving what they say they've wanted for decades?
No, it's fascinating to see that. And obviously, the big point here is this is why we should not have politicians making medical decisions for individuals. And I agree with everything that my colleagues here have said. I mean, the inhumanity and the cruelty to women, to people who are facing all kinds of medical issues and should need to be able to make their own decisions is so true. But I mean, what's fascinating to me right now, Nicolle, is seeing that at least some people in the Republican Party are figuring out this is not going to work. So I know today it's been reported that in one of the most competitive races in the country, in Arizona, a United States Senate seat, the Republican nominee, Blake Masters, now trying to strip his website from all of the comments he's made about supporting these kinds of extreme positions. The Republicans have nominated people all across the country who not only don't have the right language, they believe that women should not have the ability to make decisions about their own pregnancy. I don't even think there isn't a way you can message your way out of the extremism of the Republican Party right now.
Well, and they're not running away from it. I mean, I think Mitch McConnell just sent some rescue funds to J.D. Vance, who said, not in an adversarial interview on this show or anything like it, but in a friendly interview, that he thinks women should stay in violent marriages. I mean, in some ways, Dobbs has flushed out a worldview on the right that none of the Republican leaders are running away from. No one has unendorsed J.D. Vance, Cecile.
No, it's true. I mean, it's incredible. But we know you looked at all these primary races where sometimes there were options between more moderate candidates by the Republican Party, but that's not who got nominated. I mean, look at, when you look at Pennsylvania, Michigan, all the most competitive races in the country, the Republicans have nominated statewide candidates who are extreme on the issue of abortion. And I think it's interesting. I know you opened with Beto's ad. Here is one of the most highly watched races in the country. The first paid advertising in that campaign about Greg Abbott's extreme abortion ban. We've seen the same in Pennsylvania, in Michigan. Republican nominees, their positions are absolutely indefensible.